when the world's too dark of a place to be, and you need an escape from reality. Open up those pages, it's sci-fi or fantasy, whatever genre you please. And join a book club, 'cause you won't read it on your own. Join a book club, so you'll be held accountable. It's just a means to an end, but you're doing it with your friends, so join the book club by DLC.
Well, hello there, book clubbers. Welcome back. Welcome back to us. Welcome to our herky-jerky staccato summer, where, you never know if we're going to be doing an episode each week. It's been a little chaotic. I told you going in. I told you back in June it was going to be. I apologize for that. But we're working our way through Dust of Dreams. It's lots of fun. We don't want to miss a week, but sometimes life happens. I'm Jeff Cannata. I'm here with Lana Bachynski. Hi, Lana.
Hello, everybody. And my brother says he's sorry and thank you for giving me the time to scoop him up from his stranded state here in Seattle. Really appreciate your patience. And I hope everybody's ready to feel pretty sad about
It's
the chapters.
time to feel sad. We got intense, one very intense chapter, and then a lighter one with some goofy fun stuff.
Yeah.
But we're at chapter 15 of Dust of Dreams. Everyone, I remember the Discord was saying, get ready for chapter 15.
The
They weren't kidding.
The comments just being like, chapter 15 is soon.
Yes.
Yep. I also count numbers, but this is so much more ominous.
We will get into it. And, we'll get into it. Okay, so, well, I wanted to kind of give a disclaimer because our show is light and we're goofy and we're probably going to be a little irreverent and with the caveat that this is a very serious topic and we will talk about it with the gravity it deserves, the gravitas it deserves. But, also we're having fun reading a book that we enjoy for pleasure, right? So,
and also anybody who is only enjoying the book because we're talking about it and isn't reading it, mature subject matter ahead.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
I'm mature subject matter behind too.
I figured that, like, if you're in this book and you're listening to this, we probably don't need those kind of disclaimers, but
the intensity has ramped up. We will put it that way. All right. Yeah. We like to start the show with a non-spoiler topic so that if you haven't read what we have been reading, you can still have fun, talk about stuff. We got a fun one. Our favorite topics are sent in to us by you. And you can do that by sending us an email to dlcfeedback@gmail.com. You can also post them in the Discord, which is 5x5 DLC on Discord, the book club thing. But the best way to do it is to send us an email. If you're going to do it right. Send us an email, dlcfeedback@gmail.com. This comes to us from Michelle, a.k.a. Michelle Alessandra. Michelle says, greetings, Lana and Jeff. Finally, I think I have a discussion-worthy question for the non-spoiler section. During your last interview with Mr. Erikson, he briefly discussed the mother-son relationships in Toll the Hounds. Both were dysfunctional, to say the least, which leads me to my question. Father-daughter relationships have been well fleshed out and explored in movies, series, and books, but the mother-son relationship, not so much. In fact, they're usually depicted as somewhat sexual, dysfunctional, or just plain weird. As the mother of two young adult sons, I find this extremely disappointing and nothing at all like the relationship we have. Going back to Malazan, I understand dysfunction and conflict is where the drama occurs, and we wouldn't have certain story arcs otherwise. No shade to Mr. Erikson, but I would like to see mother-son relationships depicted and explored in a healthier way. Is there a movie, series, or book that depicts mother and son relationships well? Please discuss. Thank you for tackling this book series. I would not have started reading it without the show. Take care, Michelle. Wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for being with us. One of my favorite things is hearing people say, I wouldn't have picked this up if it wasn't for the show. So that's just amazing and a delight. And it's really the purpose of why we did this. So, Lana, as neither a mother nor a son,
the definitive authority on a good relationships. This one, I think it just kind of goes to prove the point. It's a toughie. It's like I have a really hard time thinking about ones that are like, I can't even think of the name of the movies that I'm picturing in my head, but every mother-son where it feels like a healthy relationship, the relationship isn't the focal point necessarily. It's like a mother being like, where are my children?
Yeah.
And like trying to find her kids to get
or
them
if
back.
it's a good relationship, that means mom's dying.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
That's usually what it is in drama, right? And Michelle hits on this with the fact that, conflict and loss, and that's where the drama lands, and that's what we're coming to stories for. So it makes a lot of sense. But go ahead.
But other than those, I feel like there's a lot of like healthy family ones that are mostly like kids movies that are centered around, the kid trying to have this relationship with another thing. Little Miss Sunshine is like the whole family is kind of dysfunctional, but they care about each other a lot. And particularly the way like the teenage son in that movie is experiencing like extreme frustration and angst. And, he's on his like protest that he's been on for a while. And his mother seems like very supportive of just being like, yep, you can stay quiet as long as you want to. Like genuinely being there's like a groundedness to that relationship where it's not even the center point of that movie. It's more about the younger daughter. It's a big plot point, but that is one that sort of is like feels like a real relationship and like a supported relationship, even going through a phased relationship of a mother and son. And then otherwise like Home Alone.
Yes. I mean, she's the centermost reason why why the plot happens, right?
And she cares a lot. She has like a tender moment before she leaves, and then she cares a lot trying to get back. But again, that's not like the focal point of the movie is the relationship.
Well, I think the prototypical one, certainly in fantasy fiction, well, not prototypical is the wrong word, but the first one that pops to my mind, I would say, is Dune, right? Because, I mean, not that they have the best relationship, but it's very much a mother teaching her son the magics, right? And protecting him. And they have this interesting, fairly positive relationship because, spoiler alert for Dune, but dad is out of the picture pretty quick. And and mom is the mage, and usually it's lady mages, and now we got a boy mage. And so I think Dune has a lot of that sort of positive mother-son relationship that maybe Michelle is looking for. The other one that I thought of is Forrest Gump. Mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Good lessons from Ma.
Mom is a major force in his life. The reason that Forrest can, thrive in his life is because his mother believed in him and all that stuff. And then, this is not a mother, but it's a mother figure. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? Aunt May is not mom, but she basically is mom. And so, Spider-Man, pretty big on the mother-son relationship, right? He's protecting his mom from the knowledge that he's Spider-Man, and she's supporting him and wants him to, do well at school and stuff. I think there are some
of the ones that some came to mind. It does feel like that adoptive mother has like a theme. I haven't seen a lot of those movies, but that Sandra Bullock, the Blind Side movie comes to mind. I haven't seen it, but I think that's a mother-son kind of relationship. I want to say there's one where Reese Witherspoon plays sort of an adoptive mother relationship, but I can't even think of the name of it. But there's a Pixar movie called Onward that kind of has a similar vibe where dad's kind of in the picture. Dad is actually the focal point of the movie, but like the mother relationship is what triumphs through. Half of dad. Dad is halfway in the picture. But like that mother relationship, ends up being like a big part of that kid's story there near the end of the movie. But great point. I feel I wish I could offer more, but I'd be like, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I Googled, there's a BuzzFeed article that could be helpful that has a bunch listed, but even these are like Hereditary. Well, not a great movie about a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
You can watch this with your son.
The Black Panther movies after Chadwick Boseman passed away, sadly, they kind of moved the focus onto his mom in a large sense, played by a fantastic actress whose name is not in my head right now. But they're in genre fiction here and there. Kubo and the Two Strings. Have you seen that movie?
So good.
Such a great movie. So yeah, there are fun ones, interesting ones, but I totally understand as if you're a mom. This question is particularly resonant for me because my mom is on the next floor of my building, my house right now, coming, she's here for a visit right now. So I'm seeing my mom, hanging out with my mom, and we have a fantastic relationship. I love my mom more than I could possibly express. And she's been a great force in my life and supportive in a way that I couldn't possibly have hoped for. So I love good mom and son relationships too. So thanks for sending this in, Michelle. Like I said, if you're out there, you got a question for us or a topic, love to get them. dlcfeedback@gmail.com. All right, let's get into it. Spoilers starting now for chapters 15 and 16. We start chapter 15 with Tool, freshly dead, who is pretty pissed about a lot of things and musing about it. And whoa, what? He comes into contact with an old friend. Oh, reunited, and it feels so bad.
Oh man, what a heartbreaking scene.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Just Steven, let somebody be happy.
Old Talk the Younger, or Talk the Dead now.
Talk the Master, the formerly dead younger Deadman.
That's right. Comes striding up on his undead horse and basically is a real jerkwad to Tool and says, hey, I know you were excited about being dead and finally getting your... Yes, right. Yeah, as a Talana Moss who couldn't be dead because of the ritual of Talan, and and then you got to be mortal and you had a life. Now you finally have earned your rest, and all Tool wants is to be with, I guess, the animals. Hanging out with all the animals that have gone extinct over his long lifespan. A lot of extinction of animals themes in this novel, it seems, and sort of in the series overall. All he wants to do is run with hang out with the
puppet dog,
lovely animals in the afterlife. And what does Talk say? Talk says, no, sir.
It's like so heartbreaking, that scene, being like, buddies, you're supposed to be buddies, help each other. Buddies. You both had this opportunity to like hang again, and like your heartbreak could heal, but still being brutal. Like pretty badass Talk, where he's like, the gate is sealed, and then Tool is like, that's fine, and he's like, no, I am the lock, and like,
yeah. You still need the gate to the afterlife is locked. Yes. Well, what's the lock? I am the lock.
Amazing.
I am the lock.
Very badass.
You shall not pass, basically.
Yeah. But with more violence. It's you shall not pass. But said to a friend while shooting him with arrows that he helped teach you to make.
Brutal.
Like
his
everything
own
about it. So the insult to injury.
And we have seen this lovely bromance blossom over multiple novels, and the lengths that Tool went to save Talk, and this beautiful love that they have for each other, really real love. And Talk stands there and says, no way. I'm gonna deny you the one thing that will make you happy. And it crushes Tool. He flat out says, you have awakened the hate in me. I turn away from love. I embrace hate. I am going to be
Bad boy.
Angry Tool. No.
Yeah. Ugh, so
and
sad.
Also, he says we're far from, or Talk says we're far from finished, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Cast away love. I cast away love, Tool says. I embrace hate. And stomps away angry. And the immediate next scene is Tool just weeping.
Just collapsing.
Yeah.
We find out in the next scene, he's like sits strong enough on the horse until Tool gets out of sight. Which I'm like, what if Tool like hopped up and like peeked over? Just come back for like one step. You gotta have the sense that that's
wacky. Are you crying? No, I'm not crying.
But I just fell off my horse for no reason. Like collapses, so sad. So not something he wanted to do. He's being manipulated by Olar Ethel.
Olar Ethel suddenly becoming very important to our story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
He basically says she's evil for compelling him to do this, right? And she says, fine, I don't care. All I care about is that Onos Tulan is severed from you and more importantly, from your kind.
Yeah.
So, Talk hates her for doing this. You wonder, like, how she's compelling him, why she's compelling him to do this.
She's just like this ancient, powerful being, which we get her rattling off her string of names a little later.
Yes.
And the other thing that we find out is that Talk did try to surreptitiously put like code phrases in.
Yeah, I know. He's like,
didn't work.
By the way, save the children! Save the children!
You know what that means? Think about the people who are like your kids, but not necessarily your kids. You got to think about those things. But you got to get out of here.
He's like, I'm so mad at you. He's like, yeah, I know you're mad at me, but maybe save the children.
Eyes up here. Look for the kids. You feel me?
Ave say the Ildren Che. Yeah.
Then Olar Ethel like almost caught on. She's like, I saw you. If you had done anything, I was gonna kill you. And he's like, I'll kill you. And she's like, good luck finding my body. And Talk knows that she's with Torrent. She knows that she has a protector and that her body is elsewhere. And he's like, someday he's gonna wake up to the fact that you're manipulating him.
Yes.
Mark my words.
Yes. And then immediately, and he's also like, well, I'll mess you up. She's like, I'm not even here. I'm not even right. My real body is somewhere else right now. So what are you going to do about it?
Do yours.
And then the next scene is her real body. Or actually, no, she's talking to Torrent, who dreamed of Talk and then is talking to Olar Ethel. And he's like, what's the deal with all that? And she's like, you don't even know who I am. I'm everybody. And I was like, everybody?
Burn?
Everybody? Yeah, Burn was the craziest one. But she said she's the Aristal. She's the stone bitch.
I was like, what if this is like real, literal, I am these things? Or I was thinking on it later, I was like, was it more poetic that it's like, I am this, like in the way that like if I were like, I am
every woman, it's all in me.
That was all like poetic. Like if I was like, I am the earth, I am Gaia, you wouldn't be like, Lenny, you're literally Gaia. But she must be talking literally. I am literally Burn. But we saw Burn.
I don't know. Like that seems so wildly improbable that she is all of these things,
but she's ancient.
Yet, I don't know if she's boasting or lying or
being
literally
poetic.
telling the truth. Or she's literally saying, like, Olar Ethel is literally Burn and somehow has
glamored a giant woman.
It's a mind-blowing sequence because she's like so pissed and just literally, this litany of all these things that she is. And I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, especially because like Burn, she's like, I'm dying. It's so urgent. It's so soon. And then who was it got dragged into the center?
It was
Canoes?
no, it was Ben. Quick
Quick
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, how soon?" And she's like, "So soon." And he left. They're like, "Yeah, like eons." Her time moves differently for her. And he was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Well,
But
and
like,
later, no, go ahead. Sorry.
no, it just makes me be like, can she like, is this not even her real body, and her real
Right.
body is Byrne?
And then later, I think next chapter we'll talk about it. But just skipping ahead briefly, Bottle is like, "Hey, the Aristal has stopped like
Visiting
showing up
me.
and sexing me down. What's up with that?" And I was like, "Well, if Olar Thil is like doing other stuff, what is that an explanation for why the Aristal has stopped showing up? Like, I don't even."
Seems plausible.
Yeah, lots of. That was a mind-blowing moment for me, but also, she seems very important, Olara Thil, and we'll
Well,
get
I
him.
guess in her way, she has been super important the whole time.
And indeed,
Yeah.
if this is to be believed. Anyway, she is pretty upset, and she said, she's ranting at Torrent, and she says, "The stone bitch shall awaken once more. I am promised." So I don't know who's promising her. And you will choose evil in fullest knowledge of what you do. I am coming, mortal. The earth awakened to judgment, and I will give you not a single instant of mercy. So, pretty pissed off.
Yeah. That sounds like Byrne's rage.
Yeah. And Torrent's like, "Well, maybe I should go talk to Talk." And she's like, "He's full of lies."
It's the classic abuser behavior. Everybody's lying to you except me.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was a wild sequence for me, because I sit up and take notice now every time I see Olar Ethel's name. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And thinking back to her just being like, "Silver Fox, what up?" And Silver Fox being like, "Shut up."
Yeah. All right. So the next scene is Setok and Kafal. This is another. Setok is having this foreboding feeling that something awful is about to happen. Oh boy, was she right? Or I guess Kafal is the one who's feeling that, and they are reflecting on another instance of all the animals are dead, and why have we, what is this thing that wipes out all the other species on Earth? Oh, it's people. People do it. And so, very much, I think, commenting on humans in the real world who are,
just the worst.
They're just the worst. Yes, exactly. So they're gonna decide. They're gonna go through this warren to try to get back to camp. To get back to Hetton and all the folks at the. Why can't I think of the word? Because of the
Barghast.
Barghast. Thank you. The Barghast camp. So that's where that scene ends. And then we check in with Kalith and Sag Chirac. They are also, feeling this foreboding. The enemy is hunting them, hunting the refuge. Another one where it's like everyone is being wiped out. This sort of genocidal, xenocidal elimination of species. And Sag says, "We will show you the horrors of the modern world, so you want no part of it."
And is this the scene that Kalith is also sort of coming into? She feels like she gets more and more confident about like her role.
Yeah.
Every time we sort of sit with her, and her realizing that she's like, I need another human person here.
Yeah. She's like, the matron wants to learn why humans have been successful. So I need help with that.
Yeah. Cause they're down to the one. And so needing another human, not only to like understand that, but because she's like, I need somebody who I can more intrinsically understand on a human level, like the
Yeah.
way that we communicate, the things, the experiences that we have. If we're to share this back, I need to be able to share with somebody so that there's, greater chance that we can get a grips on it. Was the vibe I got.
It feels like there's a real ticking clock for the Kachain Shamal in total, right? Because the next scene also with Gunth Mach, the matron herself, and she's like, all the matrons go nuts, crazy cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
And quickly.
And nobody knows that but the matrons. We kind of keep it a secret. But we got this tick-tock of, if we're going to save our entire civilization, we have to, do something about this.
There's also something that she's having the conversation. I forget if she says it to Caliph or if it's like this internal beat for her of being, she's like trying to break the cycle in a bunch of different ways, where she's like, we're not like necessarily keeping everything to ourselves, and we're not trying to keep it to just one. Like, I started this relationship with other guy and I now have carrying his baby, and that will like break the cycle somehow, because it was like the wrong, it's like an improper person to mate with, or however they normally do that. That's not the normal standard for how they would procreate or whatever it is. Like, just doing anything to try and break the cycle to avoid eradication.
Yeah. And she says that Gurul will be the one who will decide if she's a worthy successor. And she thinks that all this is doomed to failure. She's going to be the last matron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's why she's like, just in case that I don't pass, if I have this kid, maybe it won't. It could be a good successor. Yeah.
Okay, so then the next scene we start into the Barghasts situation. And that's kind of where we go. That's kind of where we're going.
Right, we've got a bit of a situation over here.
So first we have a Scepter Urkulus, who is realizing that all of this is going bad, and thinks, hey, it sure looks like we're getting attacked by bombs, grenades, like Malazan munitions, or at least that's what this warrior says. And Urkulus says, nah, I think it was sorcery. But we're kind of getting the details of how all these different clans are getting scattered, and they're all sort of turning on each other.
Yeah.
Then we have a scene with Moral Ebb.
The other thing I want to point out about the last guy whose name Urkulus.
Scepter Urkel. Did I do that?
He, like, the last time we saw him, he was like, aha, we have the day, go my daughter, ultimate ego. But he's lost his daughter. They definitely didn't have the day. They were part of that, like, we've got to get here before the storm's here. Or, like, whatever obvious big baddie thing demolished them all.
Right.
And now he's like willing to just give up everything. He's like, nothing matters anymore. The life that I thought I had doesn't matter. I'll let somebody else play with my grandchildren. I'm like finishing this out.
Yeah. I'm gonna die, and we just need peace. This is all bad. Bad. Everything's bad.
Yep.
So the next scene, Bakal is also feeling everything's going bad. He says, we're in the wrong war. Tool was right. I'm such an idiot for letting him make me kill him.
he broke my arm, and
which totally
that's
sucks.
a bummer. So not only do I feel extreme guilt, I got a broken arm.
I should have just let Tool kill
me.
Everybody. Yeah. All of us, we should have been murdered. And maybe, hopefully, this will all end in us getting what we deserve. Then the next scene, I love this next scene in retrospect, because it's Sakara the Vile, just overconfident as all get out, just walking at the head of her little stream
entourage.
Of people. Yeah. Thinking how dumb her husband is. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. He's almost at the end of his usefulness. I'm gonna get rid of this moron. Who do I have to kill? Oh, I should have killed all of Moral Ebb's brothers. I should have done it all. I got to figure out who I'm gonna put into power next. I'm in complete control.
I'm the puppet
Nothing
master
can go wrong.
at the camp. Yeah,
that's right. Which I love, because of
and nobody knows that I'm doing all these things. There's like this idea that she's like perfectly behind the veil.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have a scene with Tool's kids. Well, actually, technically, Krupp's kids.
Yeah.
Stavi and Story, the twins, who are with Tool's actual son, and they're having a great old time scribbling in the dirt. What could possibly go wrong?
That Hitan previously and Tool were like, "Oh, those kids, terrible."
Yeah, the worst.
The worst. And even
mischief makers. Yeah.
Yeah, just little trouble babies.
Yeah. We find out that Tool's son's real name is Absi Khair, which means autumn promise, which feels like something.
Feels like a timeline.
And the twins are like, "Oh, hey, I hear some noise. It sounds like people are excited, but maybe not in a good way."
Definitely some kind of excitement.
Yeah. And then, of course, Hetan gets the news that Tool is dead, and she immediately realizes that is bad and that she should have gotten out of Dodge when she had the chance.
But she has been like, she knew already that Tool was dead because of their connection.
But, when she felt it, she should have just sprinted, gotten out of there with the kids.
But she was so depressed. Instead, she was like smoking and just being lazy and like living for her kids when her kids were around. But when they're not, just like being so deeply depressed that she did not make good choices.
Yes. Kafal and Setak are going through the ghostly tide warren, this warren with wolves, and Kafal is like, "I'm not going to make it in time." He has this feeling.
I wasn't sure if that was at the end of the last scene with them where they're like, "We're traveling, we got a bad feeling," and they're like, "Isn't there like I can feel kind of like a new powerful magic? What if we pull on this thread?" And it was like dogs, and like pulled them through.
Yeah.
So they're like having a special ride.
And still Kafal is like, "We're not going to make it in time, even how fast we're going."
Yeah.
Then we have a super creepy scene with this, I believe, new character, Sathand Grill, who's been spying on Hetan and Tool's kids for weeks. And now is like, "Oh, here we go. I get to kill them. Finally. It's my time. Tool is dead. Now I get to kill the kids. Lucky me."
And like, I get to kill the kids, and as if being like, and I'm not a creep. I don't want to do this, but I have to send my seed to our gods.
Right. Am I going to enjoy it? Sure. But am I?
Yeah.
Am I
do I want to do it?
No.
No.
Is it the thing I've been waiting for literally for weeks, thinking about exactly how I'm going to do it, and when it happens, I'll have a great time and I'll feel great about myself.
I will revel knowing that.
But am I a bad person? Does any of that make me a bad person?
No, I did it for our gods.
That's right.
Yeah.
So creepy, so gross, so creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get to chapter 15, The Thing.
The Thing.
Hetan and her fate. We've heard about the hobbling. We've heard about
the teeing up of the hobbling. It was brought up several times earlier, being like, "That's a horrible thing." And when you read it, you're like, "Is this a thing that they're like horrible stuff can happen in this world?" And immediately, when we heard about it the second time, I was like, "It's happening to somebody."
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to hear your feelings. This is obviously a very polarizing section. It's a harrowing thing to read. I was reading this at night. My wife was doing some other work, and she came over to me and she was like, "Are you okay?" I wasn't crying or anything. I think she just saw an expression on my face that was troubling to her.
The full body wince.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing. Yeah.
It was like, I couldn't put it down. I didn't want to stop in the middle. I had to see it through. I had to like keep reading. But I was like, oh my God, is this? We've gone through some really awful things in these books, but I feel like this is a new level.
New low.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to hear what you think as a woman and as a reader.
all the pieces that swirl into it and all the perspectives that you get and all the context that you have, I think as far as being like, this is like the worst thing that can happen to you, it's like so effective.
Mhm.
Uh, there's so many different things happen. What's happening with the Barcast, like ousting of a leader. There's like a night of madness where they have like this violent streak where everybody's trying to place who's going to be the new leader, and it'll shake out in about 24 hours. But all of the things that surround that 24 hours, it all kind of gets mushed together. Where there's, I'm going to sort of ignore the threads of like the succession planning and stuff like that, but everything that just happens around Hetan. The people who come in to do the initial hobbling, which is the cutting off of the front of the feet so that you can't use your feet. All you can do is crawl on your knees. One of them being, a known bully from their lives, but the other being like a younger girl, people that like, as this is happening, all she's thinking about is like, you played with my kids. We've laughed. We've had beautiful memories together. And the tragedy of how quickly that turns, that love and that community feeling turning into this so violently, so viciously in an instant, gut-wrenching. The attitude of everybody being like, oh, this is the show now. This is the gallows. We're all here to bear witness to it, hooting and hollering this person who is going to be in the worst pain that you can possibly imagine, in the mud, and people vying for the rights of being like, I'm always going to be known as the first person who rapes her after her feet were cut off. Isn't that so great for me? Let me go down in the history book. Disgusting. It's like, so it like really roots the tradition in like, just like the repulsion that you feel reading it. But then it also gets context of like, yeah, Toole was the leader. He could have done away with this tradition. But because it is such one that has like a weird morale boost to the tribe, that in a space where you're already a tenuous leader and people clearly want to kill you, he didn't remove that tradition as a thing that they do with the tribes, because it would have been instantaneously, he would have been instantaneously gone. And then, some of the reactions of Bakal, who is disgusted and horrified and flees the scene. And then in the mind of Hetan herself, feeling like my only responsibility was to protect the kids. I didn't flee. I was living for them. I didn't think enough about them. This is what I deserve. And
that's the hardest part for me.
Them talking about how it's going to take days to break her. It's going to take 20 men, 50 men to break her. And she immediately internally breaks herself. And she understands the mind of this broken woman who puts it on herself. Brutal.
I completely agree. That is the hardest part, because even in reading it and in the horrors that you are experiencing as a reader, I felt this like fight back. She's strong. Fight.
And we've seen her with that strength and the fire.
Yes. And you've seen her for multiple novels with that. Like, she started out as this total beast woman, this complete, like, savage, capable, I will take whatever man I want, that kind of, and the being in her POV and her like making eye contact with people and like staring them down, I was like, like, stop this, force them, make them see, like, fight back. And then that moment where she rises, that was the hardest part. That was the part where my soul broke, because you feel that defeat, and the only thing that can break you is you, right?
Yeah. Reading something awful happening to somebody, but being able to live in their mind and see that they're like, I will resist. There is like hope. There's it's still that everything is despicable surrounding it, but you're like rooting for them and seeing this character give up on themselves and be like, this is what I deserve. Having understood it to be the worst thing.
Yeah.
The worst thing. And you're still like, you're rooting for them, but you can't you can't there's just a loss of hope that this person is coming out the other side and going to be okay. That removes that little sliver of like, people can like do hard things. People can do the worst things and make it out and endure and have that resilience that you need and have that like fortitude in their heart and in their mind. And like, it becomes a powerful story and not just a horrible story. And her immediately giving up, it's just a pit of despair.
It is. Yeah. It's the worst possible version of something that is already the worst possible version.
Yes.
And, I mean, I think there have been a number of people who felt like this was a bridge too far for them. We got a number of emails this week of people who are like, I had to stop reading at this point. What was your feeling about that? Did you, there's some folks in our Discord that I think very graciously and helpfully sent us a link to a discussion that happened on the Reactor, the reactormag.com's reread of which I've been linking to, that where Steven wrote a very lengthy, I want to read a bit of it, a very lengthy post in response to this discussion they had specifically on this scene. Did you read that? Were you?
I didn't read that. I get so spoiler averse that I get very afraid.
No, I understand
of certain things. But like, for me, not having read that, it is a luxury to be able to look away from horrors.
Yes.
And if you're going to witness somebody's story, you have to be willing to witness all of their story. And it's not about what suits you. It's about, in this case, it's like this fantasy story. So it is objectively about what suits you. You can stop reading a book whenever you want. I'm not going to say somebody shouldn't do that. But for me, it turning myself off to somebody else's pain and the horrors that somebody else can experience, it's just not, I can't do that. I have to be able to see, because I feel like that's respect. I've spent 9 or 8.5 books with these characters.
Yeah.
And I love and respect what the story is being built. And this is a part of that story. And likewise, I think the willingness to be like, ooh, that's too dark for me, I'm going to turn away, is what happens. I mean, we talk about it so much. Right? It happens in the world. It's happening in the world right now. And that luxury of looking away and going about life and just being, I'm not going to experience that, is something that disturbs me.
Yes.
On the daily. So for me, it's not about like, oh, I loved reading this. What a great time I'm having reading my fantasy escapism book. It is a story that the horror of the world is a part of the fabric of the story. And I have to experience it. I have to.
You've hit on exactly, I think, what Steven's point is in his post. I want to read a couple of excerpts. I encourage everybody to seek this out. It's the article is titled "On Hetton, the Barghast, and the Portrayal of Torture in Fantasy Fiction." And Steven's comment is the first comment at the bottom of this discussion. But I want to read just a couple of excerpts because I think you've hit on it, and it is exactly how I feel as well. Steven writes, "The question that arises is, why did I have to drag you all through such a horrific event? There are so many ways to answer this, I almost don't know where to start. I suppose we can begin with dispensing with the notion that fantasy, as I write it, is escapist literature. It isn't. For me, the fantasy world is a simulacra, a curious reflection of our real world. And the thing that binds the two is the human condition. I would think that after almost 9 complete novels, this much shouldn't be readily evident by now. I use the invented universe to talk about this one. And no, I don't think this is particularly unique or in any way exceptional, even in novels where writers have clearly not consciously consider the relationship between the invented world of their fiction and the real world in which they live. They all end up saying something about that relationship, even when they don't mean to. This is one of the topics I find myself addressing more and more at cons and other public venues where we talk about the genre. The proliferation of gratuitous violence, not just in recent fantasy fiction, but on film and in television, where heroes assume a pathological indifference to those they kill or to those who die as an indirect consequence of their actions, and the way in which these fictions are both a reflection and a potential affirmation of a kind of acceptable sociopathy in modern society. But this topic deserves much more space than I'll be providing here, so we'll move on. I'm going to skip a large section, but he says, novels are a covenant. The author seeks a covenant with the reader. He says, recoil in horror with this scene. I did. But keep your eyes on the page. Read it through, but not for me. Don't for an instant read it through for my sake. Torture is going on right now. People are being maimed. Some will die. Others will live with pain and trauma for the rest of their lives. And if you're at all like me, you feel helpless to do anything about it. But one thing you do have a choice over. You can turn away, cover your eyes. You can cry out, I don't agree to this. And you can even, with indignation, get angry with me and say, why did you do this to me? You can, above all, dismiss the whole thing as trivial. It's just a fantasy novel, after all, written by someone most people have never heard of and never will. The hobbling of Hetton is a nadir of the human condition. Sometimes just seeing such a nadir reminds us of how far we still have to go in this age of waterboarding and the sustained vilification of the other. And while such acts of violence are in all likelihood very distant from us readers here, they exist as a chapter in the history of our own civilization, our own culture. And future books recounting the history of our present will note us with clinical clarity as nations in which torture was both condoned and conducted. What a miserable truth to leave behind. He says, I didn't write that scene for you. I wrote it for them. And I ask the same of you, read it for them. As my wife said, whatever we feel is as nothing compared to what the victims have and will go through. And in the grand scheme of things, our brief disquiet seems to me now, as it did then, a most pathetic cry in this vast wilderness.
Wow.
God damn it. Steven Erikson can make me cry in a goddamn post on a website. But I think it's a powerful notion, exactly what you were talking about, right? Exactly what you were talking about. Mm-hmm. We have this privilege of being able to look away. And Steven is forcing us to not. It was powerful. I mean, it was something that I like I said, I couldn't put the book down at that point. I felt like it was horrible, but I had to see it through. Like I was staying up past my bedtime in a sense. And then right after this, and you're right to bring up so many of the horrible things of the little girl that cauterizes the wound, the sort of frenzy and excitement and bloodlust, and these people who are literally her community, her village, her friends, and people she had experienced her life with, turning so gleefully on her. I mean, I don't mean to be flippant or reductive in any way, because obviously this is a level of torture that is far beyond anything else, but it did evoke to me a little bit of that place we are in the digital age where you do something online, or we just these people at the Coldplay concert, right? Or there's a million examples of the person who has a socially unacceptable indiscretion, and it gets broadcast to the world, and now they're a pariah, and they've been, there's this sort of like excitement about how fun it is to punish them.
Yeah, the mob mentality.
Yeah, in this public way, in this public sphere, we're going to all mock and deride them, and we're all going to have so much fun doing it. It's going to be such a blast for us to see how much they suffer. And again, I don't mean to equate this physical torment with that, but I do think there's a thread that connects them. And it is the same impulse, I think, being expressed, this feeling of like, well, hooray, it's not me. Hooray, it's somebody else. And look at how much fun we can have punishing them. But don't look at my indiscretions. Don't look at how bad I am behind closed doors.
Just the complete lack of reflection.
Yeah.
There's not a thought given. It's getting swept up and being like, this is the thing. Because even that like, hooray, thank God it's not me. Like, I don't even think that thought exists. I think it is, that the sociopathic tendencies in those spaces where you don't even think about what somebody else is experiencing. It is just a joke. It is just a ritual. It is just a thing that's happening that is given no further examination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful writing. And, then, what happens next, so I don't know what your experience was, but I have gone through this thing with Hitton and seen her crumble inside and seen her accept her fate. And it is so harrowing and so horrible. And then immediately we go back to this awful man pursuing the children. And I was like, Steven, if you take the children, I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I can handle it. Please. And that scene has so much tension and you feel their peril and you just know, like, they know that they're helpless. They know they're going to die.
Knowing that the screaming of the baby is the thing that is the representation of their terror and also the thing most continuing to give them away.
That moment where the youngest turns and looks at the man who's coming to kill them, and he knows that he's recognizing him as being this friend because he's been part of the community, and the baby's like, oh, everybody's scared, but look, there's safety right there. Crushed me. But in that moment, like, I had no faith that these kids were going to survive this. I really thought, and I think that's one of the other benefits, sort of just narratively. I mean, it's hard to talk about it in that way. It makes it, again, seem flip. But when you bring the reader through that, all of a sudden, the reader is not safe in any way, and you know anything can happen. There's no limit to the peril. There's no, like, in so many pieces of fiction, I know they're going to get out of it. It's just a matter of how, and that can be a fun ride. But when you're in a situation with these kids, and I really don't know if they're going to survive this, because I don't know how far down. When
the night of madness begins, it's quite the reality of you can take anything,
exactly.
quote unquote, from me.
Right.
And it's how is this a night of madness that is localized to this tribe, to this camp? Right. Or is this a greater thing that's happening across the world that is felt through, like, the magical connection that we're going to see? And, like, I was bracing myself to lose a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you felt the same way, because I really, there's just such this inevitability expressed in the language and in everybody's perspective of, like, Hedden knows her kids are going to die. The kids know that they're going to die. The killer knows he's going to kill them. There's nothing that can stop that. And it just feels so
brutal. And the other piece is, like, building the kids to be even more sympathetic. You've heard Hitan be like, oh, these little terrors, and this guy being like, we've all seen these kids. They're brats,
Right.
And and then being clever of like the decoy scrabbling at the rock and then throwing the rock on him, but them showing the empathy, like I could have thrown it on his head. I thought maybe if I broke his arm, he would just go. Like, they are the ones showing the most humanity, maturity, thoughtfulness, empathy for this person who is their friend. This shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be in this position. The children,
such a great point,
are the ones doing it.
Such a great point. That is it's such a brutal moment where I don't remember which one of the kids, it says, she's thinking to herself, why didn't I just kill him? I could have killed him and saved us. And now I've sealed our fate because I showed hesitancy. Utterly brutal. And then and we also, in the midst of that, we cut to Kafal arriving and starting to scratch out his own eyes because he can't bear to see it.
The horror of seeing his sister so abused.
Which I feel like is a not unintentional stand-in for the audience wanting to, the readers wanting to prevent themselves from seeing it. I think it's Erikson acknowledging that in a certain way. And then, Talk saves the day. And what a moment. How did you feel about that?
I mean, to me, it was like, it's like the least we could do to shore up some of the sad feelings. Okay, Talk and Tool don't get to be buddies anymore, but we get the kid saved, and Talk gets to do something for his friend, even though he was compelled to sever this relationship. He's binding it.
He still loves Tool. The moment where the kids see the arrow and they go, Dad made those.
Yeah.
That was like, wow.
So
and set up. I mean, one wonders if he had set that up
8 books ago
and knew we were coming to that moment, or if that was a serendipity, like, oh, I can use this in the moment. I'm so curious. The other thing that I realized in reading this, Lana, that kind of blew my mind is Olar Ethel straight up says, I did all this. I forced you to do this to turn Onos Tulan angry and vengeful. And by the end of this chapter, we have him back, undead, ready to rock. We'll get to it in a second, and ready to kill people. And what is he? What does he become? A tool. He's become a tool. A tool for Olar Ethel.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
That was like, was this all in the offing from word one?
Who knows?
But wow. I mean, it feels like that's not unintentional, that he has become this tool of the gods, and whatever her plan for him is, which we don't know.
Yeah.
He has now been,
he's on that path,
forged in the fires of hate. Right.
Yeah.
And he will be the tool that she needs him to be.
Wow. Did not think about that. The thing I thought was interesting is like, these kids who aren't your kids necessarily, that Talk was saying when him and Tool were chatting. I was like, these kids, his kids that aren't the kids, the twins.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if Tool or Talk was like hoping that Tool would like be there to be like, did you do it? Did you listen?
I think he's speaking of a more metaphorical
like
children.
Yeah.
Even the Talana Moss,
Yeah.
Because he sort of returns to the
eras
Talana.
of children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, some other stuff happens in this chapter before we're done,
etc.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty awesome scenes, I thought, to end this chapter. One is Bacall, who's like, my wife's been cheating on me, and which just kind of comes out of nowhere, but is this amazing thing, and he's like, what do I do about it? Like, she Do I kill them? Do I warn them what's coming?
It's like, I don't know, but I'm going to start putting on armor.
Yeah. Pretty wild. And he's like, I'm going to go kill them both. Then, this incredible scene with Sakara the Vile and her husband, where she's like, just do what I say, you idiot. And he's like, you don't understand. If I walk out that thing, they're going to murder me. And she's like, no, we are in charge. We have everything under control. You have to do what I say. They're not going to kill me. I'm too awesome.
Yeah, because he's like, if I walk out there, they'll come get you. He genuinely was trying to protect her.
Right.
And she's like angry, but she's also like, babe, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Just go.
Yeah. You don't understand. I'm the puppet master. Yeah. I've got this all under control. They can't touch me. I'm above all of it because I know too many things. I got too many fingers and too many pies, baby. And then he steps out the tent and is immediately murdered. And the two guys come in and she's just changes her tune 100%. She's like, what do I do? What can I do? Incredible scene. The incredible scene. And the end of it being, I can't believe you abandoned me. I can't believe you didn't protect me. And he was like, I should stay here so that I can protect you. Yeah. Like her delusional. Yeah. To me, it just like set her character even more cleanly in like, I can picture the path of who she was and how she got to this place of being Sakara the Vile with that kind of attitude of like, do this for me. Why didn't you do that for me? I can't believe you wouldn't do this for me. Like all those, that I feel like I could see her life without having seen her life in that moment. Yeah. And the environment that he creates in these sequences of people in their tents, but there's just absolute bedlam outside the tents. And the next scene with Bacall, where he's like in a tent and he's getting ready. He's got his own like personal issues he's dealing with his wife and all that stuff. But then people come in his tent and he's attacked, and Kafal comes in to save him. But it just feels like no one is safe. This is total anarchy.
Madness being madness. All right. Indeed. Everybody's got the bloodlust. And even the idea that a lot of the bloodlust is born from Marl Ebb came back. He didn't even kill Tool. Bacall killed Tool. This guy claims that no. My guy is going to be the guy. I'm going to get the guy. Yeah.
Incredible. And then we have Talk leading Tool's kids to Setok and says, you got to take care of them. They enter this circle of stones, and he says, wait for the war to end, and then I'll come back, basically. An incredible, harrowing chapter that ends. My whole reading is the end of this chapter because it's just so badass. As Tool is just becomes the old Tool. It's Superman 2. It's it's all those things of like, they done me wrong. It's the Western. It's the guy who like I'm picking up my pistols, my 6-shooter again, and he had people to kill is the last line, right?
He had people to kill.
Yeah, it's even better. You're right. It's people. Entire people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I blew it. Yeah, you're right. Had a people to kill.
Ooh.
Incredible. So that's the end of chapter 15. Chapter 16.
A little light reading.
Yeah. Chapter 16, I think intentionally is a little sillier, is a little more fun, lighter. Although we start with the meeting of the Elder Gods. The Errant has called together everybody. He's like, everybody, Avengers assemble. Let's get it on. Come over here.
The Errant's like, you had to do my bidding. All of you are here because I told you to be here. And Mel's like, this was easier than just like randomly searching for you because I'm going to get you.
Yeah. Also, there's like 6 people that didn't show up to your call. So
and he's like, yeah, but that's because one's like busy.
Yeah. I think Draconis is still in a sword. I don't know. There's like a lot of things happening.
His phone's broken.
They wanted to be here. Everybody answered the Evite. This scene is a delight just because of how everyone just craps on the errand and is like, and Aaron's like, now I shall reveal my master plan. And they're like, oh, this and that. But did you know about that? And he's like, didn't know that part. And they're like, yeah, you're a dummy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
How far he has fallen. Now he's like trying to reclaim like his true godhood or whatever,
Yeah.
trying to get more followers. But I feel like he's in such a worse spot from when he was like mysterious, sexy courtesan of the queen, or like, ooh, who is he? Brizad who? Wow. And now he's like, shut up. Welcome to my hole.
Yeah. Olar Ethel is there, totally dissing him. She's like, do you know what Mother Dark is up to? And he's like, no. He's like, do you know about the whole bunch of Talana Moss that showed up? Do you know that the Malazans and Whiskey Jack are like guarding the gate of Hood? And he's like, was not aware of that.
Yeah, they're like
part.
ascended, like the gods, like kids are also gods. Like,
we literally have no idea where Hood is. We don't. There's young gods, and then there's like even younger gods, dude. Do you know any of this? He's like, but my plan. So good. And she's like, the Tavor and the other Malazan, clearly I think Ganoez, their brother. Just an awesome scene and Kilmandaros is in the back like changing forms. Just like, it's so good. And Central Lath is there.
Yeah, Kilmandaros is there being like, it ain't. It ain't.
Yeah. I found that scene very fun. But
I have a pull from that scene that is
great.
My favorite.
The other thing about that scene is that it feels I've completely lost track of how many plans, sub-plans, double crosses. You don't know what I'm planning, and I like all the elder gods are just got their own thing going. They're going to backstab everyone else.
They'd be scheming.
Schemes. You're right.
I'm
That's
like
the word. That's the best word.
I'm floating along on the river of schemes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many schemes. All right. So then the rest of this chapter basically is Malazan stuff. I love the sort of meta scene, which is we're on these barges and we're going down the river. And we're just like scenes from the barges. We're just popping in on the various barges, seeing who got paired up with who's bumping into who's thinking about what. It's
the
just
idea
like,
that they're on the barges and even being like, oh, I wish I was on the barge with my buddy.
Yeah.
There's like a cute like social dynamics thing going on.
It's like every meal that you've gone to where there's like 40 people at the meal and you're like, you picked your seat and you're like, why do I pick the seat at the end? The good conversations having at the other end of the table.
Deeply resonant.
So good. And I don't know if we need to step through all of these, but there's lots of really juicy stuff in them. Cuddle, we start with Cuddle, who's like just mouthing off about the Malaz. You don't know the Malaz. You kids don't even understand. And then Gessler comes in and is like, Cuddle, shut up. You're just bumming everybody out, you doofus.
I also love the idea they're drinking peach rum, but my brain is like, Cuddle just out there drinking peach schnapps and getting like wasty. It's like, in my brain, it's like the most teenage, like, I know a lot more about this than you do.
Oh, totally. It's that kid who's like, you should have been here last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's exactly it.
And then immediately Gessler's like, you dummy. Stop. And then the next scene is Gessler like, oh man, Cuddle's got a point. Things are bad. It's so funny. And then we're with Bottle, who has been eavesdropping on everybody with his animals and himself. And he's got ideas about how we're not following the adjunct, we're not following the Empress, we're not following the High Mage, we're following Fiddler. Fiddler is the galvanizing force. Fiddler is the one that everybody believes in. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then there's this great scene with Dead Smell, Throat Slitter, and Ebron about like what's the proper amount of cheating that is allowed in the games of chance.
Yeah. And if like you already use like some cheating or you're like bad at cheating otherwise, is it fine for you to do sorcery cheating? Because that's what you're good at.
That's right. I can't cheat like you guys cheat, so I'm gonna have to use magic. Sorry.
I'm like really bad at sleight of hand, but I really want to cheat.
But that's over the line. You can't magic cheat. That's like there's no skill in magic cheating. Really funny. And then there's we have this weird love triangle with Hellion, which is funny, and Herb like in the corner, like I love her so much, and she's just like completely passed out. And then we have more Ruth and Good,
our mysterious body snatcher.
You're not who you say you are. We have Skin Arrow being like, so your backstory doesn't really add up there, pal. And he's like, what? Of course it adds up. It's such ridiculous that you would say,
he's
I'm
like,
not
yeah,
who I say I am.
This happened, and this happened, and this happened. And they're like, yeah, like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's not the right time.
He's like, oh, sure, yeah, you reading history now?
Yeah.
Sure. Like, you know anything about stuff?
Well, you're like so obsessed with me. Like,
yeah.
But who's he talking to in my brain?
It's Scanero.
Oh, Scanero. In my brain, I was just like, oh, he's talking to Shirk.
No, it's this new character, Scanero.
Yeah.
But then there's
they go off and bang?
Those two?
Yeah.
No, he walks off and she follows him. I don't know if we were told exactly what happens.
I thought there was like a sentence there that was like, and the sounds in the night, because everybody like getting it.
Well,
Bottle's like everybody's getting it.
Yeah, Bottle is like everybody's getting it, and then Cinter walks up looking all hot, and he's like, "Oh, isn't
so out of my
me.
league."
And she's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm totally out of your league, and I don't even know why I would waste my time with you." And he's like, "I'm just gonna jump over the side." It's such a great scene.
Being in his head.
Yes, it feels like I don't know if you've ever had this, but I certainly in high school lived this scene of just like she's literally saying all the things to my face that I have said to myself in the mirror, and I remember asking this girl to go out with me. I think it was probably junior high, where go out with me didn't even mean an actual.
It was like go to the
event.
park.
No, it wasn't even going anywhere. It was just like now we're going out. You know, it was a designation, not a activity.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You?" And I was just like, "Can I kill myself? Is there a sharp enough pencil nearby that I could drive through my eyeball?" And this is that. This is Bottle just being like, she's literally saying out loud all of my worst fears about how this would go, and the only escape from this is suicide. The only escape is the sweet embrace of death.
But I like it. She's like, yeah, it's not like I'm not attracted to you, and like you're weird, and you got like your rats, and like I would, I guess, like we can. And he's like, like
she's like, maybe it would be a good idea to get with you because like I could get like the hot guys and the cool guys if I wanted to, but then they would think there's like something that's going to happen with that. And you're so pathetic. You wouldn't think anything after we got together, it's just like, it would just be an easy one night stand. Cause you don't believe you could actually get with me. Whereas the hot guy would be like, oh, maybe we're in a relationship now.
It's so funny to me. Cause we have like, I feel like that's a little backwards.
It's so great. Cause he's just standing there like the blood draining from his face as he's listening to everything.
Every sentence she has, he's like, maybe I could kill myself this way. What if I did this? What if but like the idea that he's like just leaning over the railing, like disassociating while she vocalizes all her thoughts.
It's such a great scene. I loved it. Then we have some Lestara Yill stuff with Banishar and her thinking about the Red Blades and Tavor, and how Tavor is kind of in the state of mourning still, and she won't allow herself to feel anything.
And people feel like they see like a slight change in her face, that she's feeling frantic or desperate. They don't know. Yeah. I was thinking about it yesterday while I was putzing around the house and being like, it's so interesting that we've never been in Tavor's POV.
Yeah. Right.
So fascinating.
And
Keeps
everybody
her so
has
mysterious.
such opinions about her and her behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yes. Then we have a scene with Stormy and Quick Ben showing up, and Quick Ben calls Stormy the adjutant, which I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I did the same thing. Like, is this a word that I should know? Because I know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, the adjutant. I guess that's important. And we still, we have this kind of percolating thing with Stormy and Gessler, like where they've got the golden skin, they got the flames, and Quick Ben's like, hey, what's up with the fire under your skin?
Yeah. It wasn't Stormy the guy who like went and like threw that head in the hole?
Yes.
He's like, I'll go sacrifice myself.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
he's
I think so.
Maybe that's what it means. Like, you threw that head in the hole.
Then we have another comedic scene with Sunrise, who's just so happy to be here. Sunrise is like, the best thing that ever happened to me was Army. Mom said I needed to go to Army. And I love it. People like me here. I feel like I'm part of something. It's awesome. Oh, just love Army.
I also love in like the first scene, whatever his first name was, what we got from him in that scene was an accurate reflection of that name.
Yeah.
And now that he's Sunrise.
Yeah. No, he's just like sunny all the time.
Feels like a little sunny guy. Like that's what we're seeing. And it's not a different character, but that's what comes forth in the writing. Mwah.
It was like Twit or Twerp or something like that. Yeah. But then we have this hilarious thing with Rum Jugs and Sweet Lard, who are just like getting it on and making some money with all of the soldiers who are like, will you be my mother of my children? And then it's like, it's all fun and games. And at the end, it's like, oh, because they all think they're going to die.
Yeah. They all want to have kids now because they think it's their only option for the future.
Yeah.
There's also them being like, what do you mean we have to like start like fighting with like knives? I don't like being around knives. There's some line about being like, my body feels like it would just be so easy to cut or something that I'm like, it's just such an interesting, adds like like even more softness to the physical description of their bodies. Yeah.
And evidently they're working on these munitions in secret. Like they're part of this group with Hedge where they're all going to be, they're all going to be sappers, basically. They're going to be what they are plus sapper. Yeah. So that plan is still in the offing, it seems. Mm-hmm. And then we have a series of scenes where Tar has evidently like eaten way too much edibles. Put like a whole stick of this Rillig stuff in his mouth and is just freaking out because he's tripping balls. Yeah, got the stutter going on. And then the idea that it's like, oh yeah, he's like, why did you do this? You bought this thing. It's very expensive. And he's like, it cost me a lot. But he's like, has the whole lot of it. Like, no, it's expensive. Yeah, he's like, he got, the whole box of edibles, and he's like, you should have one and then see how it hits you. And he's like, arr! And he's got all of it in his mouth, and he's just like, it's too much. And he's like, well, spit it out, you idiot. And then these two other guys, the Dross, come up, and they're like making fun of him. He's like, oh, and he's like freaking out. He throws them overboard into the crocodiles. I love picturing, because I assumed that was like who he bought the stuff from. Oh, and maybe. So the way that I could picture it like a comic book panels of him like buying the stuff and then being like, yeah, we put it in your cheek, and then shoving the whole thing in his cheek, and then going off a panel and freaking out and then coming back and just like grabbing them and throwing them overboard, being like, ah, great. It's just so good. And then laughing. He's like, don't laugh at me, throws him over. And then they have to take care of him, and they're trying to calm him down and sober him up. And Baden Grook and Nep Furrow are helping. And they kind of think about the betrayal of the Empress and the fact that, the Empress never wanted this army, didn't care about the army. And now the army is sort of independent and its own thing. Fiddler and Baum talk about, lovely little remembrance for Fiddler of fishing with some old guy. I don't know if it's his grandfather or like some older guy. and the idea of fishing. And I love the metaphor where it starts with like, I'm gonna, I'm not. People don't ever want to stick their legs over the side because they thought the giant sea monster was going to bite their legs.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's like, it comes back. It's just so beautiful writing. Where at the end, he's just like, yeah, I'm going to fish, but I don't think I'm going to stick my legs over the side. It's just like at the beginning, he was like, oh, that's such a silly superstition or silly thing to worry about. And at the end, like he's worrying about that too.
I also love that in the memory, because of where he is now, he pictured himself as the grandfather character. Did I read that correctly?
I think so. Yeah. He's kind of moved into that role where he's the wise older man.
Yeah. So even though it's his memory, he like pictures himself in the other role now, which lovely.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Such a great little short story almost. It's just beautiful. And then the last scene of chapter 16 is Brice Bedect, who is meeting this new character who is an atrocetta, which is,
I was also like, ooh, a new term.
That's cool. And she's like, hey, what's up, boss? Also, there's feels like there's a little attraction there between these two?
I feel like I read that, not necessarily attraction between two of them, but Brice being like, she comes in here and she's like stuttering for some reason. She like won't even look at me. But we know that Brice is like smoking
super
hottie.
hot.
So everybody coming in and being like, hi, sir. I found this dirt.
I found movable dirt. He's like, yeah, magic. Yeah,
I love that he's
whatever.
Like, cool. How
Can't
nice
any mage do that though? Like, isn't that like not a thing that's hard? And she's like, yeah, I'm not doing it though. And he's like, oh, now I'm curious.
And she's like, I'm sorry, I need to give you more context. I found this dirt. I thought it could have been like eels or whatever in the dirt, but it was just dirt. And then I can now sense, using the warrens, the whole wasteland is full of movable dirt and it's all doing this. And he's like, oh, that's why Bug wanted me to keep an eye on you. Looks like your feelers can go out in the wasteland. And like her even coming in being like, I've been exploring the warrens and trying to get used to this magic. And I'm learning it's like a scientific approach to the Malazan warrens.
Yeah.
Of being... They call
studying them. Yeah. So cool.
Like the I forget the word for it, but it's like, you have one thing, you can locate another. And she like describes the magic to him in the way she understands it as she's trying to like study. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I liked her.
I did too. I liked her. And then at the end where he's like, okay, I'm proud of you for finding this. Can you go tell Quickben? And she's like, Quickben? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, she's like, I'll go find a squad mate. She's like, no. Like it or not, you are at this level and you gotta go talk to that guy.
She literally just faints from the, oh no, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Very endearing, I think.
A great way to end the chapter and feel like, not like dying.
Yes, incredible. So those are our chapters. We have some readings. I'll let you go first. I think I basically have one big long one.
And yours is the tool one.
Yeah, the end of the chapter. Did you pick one from there as well?
I think I did, but I picked another long one, so I feel like you can take that.
Oh wait, I may have a second one that I can do.
Let me see here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my Kindle moves. I'm very clumsy and I don't have a case for it. We had a non-spoiler topic about it at some point. Like, oh, do you have a case for your thing? And I'm like, no.
I gotta send you one. I have one mine queued up if you need a second.
Yeah, you.
All right.
Do it to it.
All right. After a few days, all the scavengers had left, abandoning the scene to the sun, wind, and stars. The blades of grasses prickled free of dried up blood. The roots thickened on enriched soil, and insects crawled like the teeth of the earth, devouring all they could. On a night with a storm raging to the east and south, a night when foreign gods howled and ghost wolves raced like a tidal flood across an unseen landscape, when the campfires of armies whipped and stuttered and the jackals ran first one way and then another, as the stench of spilled blood brushed them all on all sides, the buried valley, with its sprawl of boulders and bones and its ash heap of burnt remains, began to move here and there, fragments drawing together, forming into ribs, phalanges, leg bones, vertebrae. As if imbued with iron seeking a lodestone, they slid and rolled in fits and starts. The wind that had begun in the southeast now rushed over the land, a gale like 100,000 voices rising, ever rising. Grasses whipped into frenzied motion, dust swirled up and round and spun, filling the air with grit. In the still, cloudless sky overhead, the slashes seemed to pulse and waver as if seen through waves of heat. Bones clattered together from beneath the massive boulders and crumpled armor in the valley. Pieces of rotted flesh pulled free, tendons writhing like serpents, ligaments wiggling like worms, climbing free and crawling closer to the heap of bones, which were edging into a pattern, reforming a recognizable shape, a skeleton, loosely assembled, but the bones were neither acrini nor barghast. These were thicker, with high ridges where heavy muscles once gripped tight. The skull that had been crushed was now complete once more, battered and scorched. It sat motionless, upper teeth on the ground, until the mandible clicked up against it and then pushed beneath it, tilting the skull back until the jaw's hinges slipped into their joints. Flesh and desiccated skin, random clumps of filthy hair, ligaments gripped long bones, ends fusing to join them into limbs. Twisted coils of muscle found tendons and were pulled flat as the tendons grew taut. An arm was knitted together. Scores of finger bones clumping at the end of the wrist. Rotting meat bound the vertebrae into a serpentine curl. Ribs sank into indentations on the sides of the sternum and lifted it clear of the ground. When the slashes were gouging the horizon to the southeast and the wind was dying in fitful gusts, a body lay on the grasses, figments of skin joined to enclose it, each seam knitting like a scar. Strands of hair found root on the pate of the skull. As the wind fell away, there was a distant sound of singing, an old woman's rough and feeble voiced, and in the music of that song, there were fists closed into tight knots. There was muscle building to terrible violence, and faces immune to the sun's heat and life's pity. The voice ensorcelled, drawing power from the land's deepest memories. Dawn crept to the horizon, bled color into the sky, and a Talana moss rose from the ground, walked with slow, unsteady strides to the life-annealed flint sword left lying close to the barghast pyre. A withered but oversized hand reached down and closed about the grip, lifting the weapon clear. Onos Toulon faced southeast and then set out. He had a people to kill.
Woohoo!
I mean, if that is not
so awesome,
badass, the like, it is happening, assembled
all
from
the little
all the pieces.
bits,
The
muscles
so
that
cinematic.
like coiled up, and then there's a tendon.
I mean, you see
So
the visual
awesome.
effect. You see the movie of this coming together, and now he's back, baby. He's back. So good.
Beautiful. Well read.
Thank you.
I have this scene with Kilmandaros and the Errant and Knuckles chatting about the sinkhole.
Yeah.
Is misery all we get from you, Knuckles? We have not yet launched our war and you've already surrendered. I have, agreed Setchaloth. But that is a notion you do not fully understand. There is more than one kind of surrender. Indeed, snapped the Errant. Yet the face of each one is the same. A coward's face. Knuckles eyed him, amused. Erastus made a fist. What, he said in a low rasp, is so funny? The one who surrenders to his own delusions is, by your terms, no less a coward than any other. Kilmandaros straightened. She had taken upon herself the body of a Telekai, still towering above them, but not quite as massively as before. She smiled without humor at the errant. Play no games with this one, Erastus. Not bones, not words. He will tie your brain in knots and make your head ache. Erastus glared at her. Do you think me a simpleton? The smile vanished. Clearly you think that of me. When you think with your fists, don't complain when you appear to others as witless. But I complain with my fists as well, she replied. And when I do, even you have no choice but to listen, Erastus. Now best be careful, for I feel in the mood for complaining.
So good. So
I love
good.
that.
I also love that he's like, call me Chuck. All right, Charles. Yes.
Yeah.
No, my name's Chuck. It's cool. Chuck, it's cool. Sure, Charles. Yeah, you want to complain? Charlie.
I also love that there's like one little detail in there that we forgot that Kilmendorf is just like, in another body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just something you could do.
Just something you could do.
Yes, man. Ruth and God, who are you? Who are you?
All right, I have one more. I realized if you'll indulge me.
Yeah, I have another one, at least another one too. I have a bunch of random bits.
Cool. This one isn't super long. And yet, such sensitive. I can't speak. I'll just start in a different sentence. How about that? Even as he came to comprehend the vast interconnectedness of things, so too grew the suspicion that each life possessed its circle, closed in, virtually blind to all that lay outside. No matter the scale, no matter the pretensions of the things within that circle, no matter even their beliefs, they traveled in profound ignorance of the vastness of the universe beyond. The mind could do no better. It wasn't built for profundity, and each time it touched upon the wondrous, it slid away, unable to find purchase. No, we do fine with wood chips flying from the axe's bite, the dowels we drive home, the seeds we scatter, the taste of ale in our mouths, the touch of love and desire at our fingertips. Comfort doesn't lie in the mystery of the unknown and the unknowable. It lies in the home we dwell in, the faces we recognize, the past in our wake, and the future we want for ourselves. All this is what is solid. All this is what we grasp hold of, even as we long for the other. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's like we yearn to know the great mysteries of the universe, but that's not what nourishes our souls.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can endeavor to figure all that stuff out, but ultimately what's going to feel good is just like having a home and being with people and, you know, the simplicity of life. It's such a beautiful concept. I loved it.
I agree, and that was one of my ones too. But mine,
sorry,
I highlighted to the end. No, because I'll finish this section out because I love Bottle's specific attachment to that concept. Was the definition of religion as simple as that? Longing for the other, fueling that wish with faith, emulating desires through rituals. That was what we wish there to be, therefore is. That what we seek in truth exists. That in believing we create, and in creating we find. By that argument, is not the opposite equally true? That what we reject ceases. That truth is born in what we seek. That we create in order to believe. That we find only what we have created. That wonder does not exist outside ourselves. By our belief, we create the gods. And so in turn, we can destroy them. With a single thought, a moment's refusal, an instant's denial. Is this the real face of the war to come? Chilled by the notion, Bottle contracted his senses, fled the indifferent spark swirling through the river's depths. He needed something closer, something human. He needed his rats in the hold.
That's beautiful. And it's like, is that where we're headed? It's something we didn't talk about in the main part of the show, but it does seem to me that feels like this clash between these deities that require belief and subjects, and the subjects themselves who may reject that. Like that, is that what this whole thing is coming to? Is an interesting notion. Yeah.
Can everybody just align and be like, we're done with you?
Yeah.
And snap them out? Yeah. Good one. Good one.
Good one.
Tough chapters, great chapters.
We got 2 more coming at you next week. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. Keep those questions coming and comments and topics. We love it. Don't stop dancing.
It's just a means to an end, but you're doing it with your friends, so join the book club.